name is Penny Harris, and this is my Estat Practical. We're going to start with Estat Practical, and for the wrist, the dorsum is going to have a little dimple, and that's one indicator. And the second indicator is whenever I have her hold her fingers together, I'm going to be able to pull it apart. So it's going to start off with scaphoid and triquetrum, and then lunate, and then distal radius of ulna, carpal and metacarpal, carpal spread, and then trapezoid, capitate, lateral hamate, and medial hamate. And then for charrette, I'm going to support her elbow, and I'm going to rotate it and feel for abrupt stop or sponginess. So she was spongy this way, so I'm going to cross fibers over the head of the radius, and then I'm going to line of drive anterior medially. And then for the ulna, I'm going to feel for the medial epicondyle and cross fibers there if it hurts. And then I'm going to come underneath it and then thrust anterior. And then I can have you lay down on your back. So for the shoulder, it's going to subluxate anterior. So whenever I push on it, it's going to be weak. So I'm going to bring her arm out, and I'm going to give an A to P body drop. And then whenever I test it again, it's going to be strong. All right, and can I have you sit up and face that direction? So the next thing is the AC joint, and I'm going to palpate for it, and it subluxates superiorly. So if it's spongy, I'm going to have her put her arm on top of mine, and I'm going to thrust inferior, and that's better. And then for the trigger points, it's going to be subclavian, mid-scapular, teres, levator scapular, anterior and posterior humerus, or deltoid, and then anterior and posterior medial proximal humerus, and then subclavian. And then I'm going to do a scapulothoracic mobilization, and I'm going to pull it up and rotate it back and forward, back, and forward. And then I'm going to do an SC mobilization. I'm going to wrap her around mine and just stretch out the clavicle. And then for superior humerus, I'm going to palpate for it, and if it's spongy, then I'm just going to thrust inferior, and it won't be spongy anymore. And then for the levator scapula tendon, I'm going to have her shrug her distal shoulder and support it. And then I'm going to rub across the levator scapula tendon and across the superior border of the scapula. And then for Heron's protocol, can I have you lay on your back? We're going to start with the triceps muscle test. And she's going to keep her wrist straight, and I'm going to push, and she's going to be able to resist it, and it's going to be strong. And so to test the flexors, I'm going to have her flex her wrist, and it's going to be weak. So I'm going to have her touch her medial epicondyle, and if it's strong, that means it's a posterior lateral subluxation, posterior medial subluxation. So I'm going to come in here, and then my line of drive is going to be anterior lateral. And then it would be strong again. And then if it was on the lateral side, she would touch the lateral epicondyle, and it would be weak. And so to adjust that, I would come through here, and my line of drive would be anterior medial. And it would be strong again. For the extensors, I'm going to have her extend her wrist, and it's going to be weak. So then I would do the brachioradialis test, and if it was strong, that means that the radius subluxated posterior laterally. So I would do the slip adjustment. And then if I did this test and it was weak, that means that it subluxated anterior medially. And so I would find the head of the radius and stick it in. And then for the AC joint, we're going to do, and then I would test it, and it would be strong again. So for the AC joint, it's called the coracobrachialis test. I'm going to have her put her arm at a 45-degree angle up and out. And whenever I push on it, it's going to be weak. So I'm going to have you sit and face that direction. And it's the same adjustment. I would just thrust inferiorly on the acromion. And then can I do lay down again? And whenever I had her do the muscle test, it would be strong again. Alright, and then the next joint is the SE joint, and it's the pec major clavicular test. And I'm going to have her put her arms straight up with her thumb facing towards her feet. And I'm going to push out, and it's going to be weak. That means that this clavicle is subluxated. Alright, so can I have you lay on this side? And so I would look at her clavicles, figure out if it was a superior inferior subluxation. And then I would support her head and support her body with my knee. And then come in and then just body drop, knee to the lateral. And then I would lay back on your back. And then whenever I did the muscle test, it would be strong again. So the last one, can I have you lay facing that way? The last one is the Terry's muscle test. And I'm going to have her place her hand in the small of her back. And she's going to resist me pushing down. And if it's weak, that means she has a posterior subluxated humerus. Can I have you come to the outside? And the adjustment for that is the same as the anterior, but we're just going to do it from the posterior side. And it's a P to A body drop. And then I would retest the muscle, and it would be strong. And that's Heron's purple, and that's it.